Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jay. I'm an expert e-commerce trainer, and I'm here today. Let me find some music for us. I'm here today to talk to you guys about the wonderful joys that are cubic shipping and how you can save an absolute ton of money every single month by switching over what you're doing to cubic. And I know what you're thinking, Jay, what the heck is cubic shipping and why haven't I heard about it yet? So I put together this wonderful presentation so I can walk you guys through everything that's going on. Now I'm just going to say outright, this video is being recorded so we can upload it on YouTube, but if you are watching on YouTube, which means you missed it later, make sure you check all the links down below so you can catch up on everything that is going on. But currently, I'm being joined by a live audience right now who has the ability to ask questions during the show, and I welcome them, and we're going to take the time to make sure that every single one gets answered before we get off the air today. So thank you so much to everyone who took the time to make sure that they're here for this special class that we're doing. And I also want to take a moment and thank the admins of the group eBay Sellers Helping Other eBayers? eBay sellers, let me make sure I get this right. eBay sellers helping each other, which is a wonderful group of over 10,000 members that have been putting up some fantastic posts, and I've seen some of the work that they're doing there, and I thought that this would be a great group to be able to work with, to be able to share some of the things that I know. So today we're going to be talking about Cubic, but if you have another question regarding eBay and other stuff like that, don't be afraid to ask it. So, as I said, what is Cubic shipping? Okay, well, cubic shipping is a new service, or new-ish to most of us, that's being offered through USPS. That's the first question that I hear about all the time. Is this something that's already being done through USPS, or is this something that I have to go through another company to do? And I'm just going to say, first and foremost, I'm looking at some notes up here. Don't mind me, guys. It's getting a little laggy up top here. I got two computers going. But I like to tell people first and foremost that, yes, this is something that's being done through USPS. So you're not going to have to be working with some crazy alternate courier. But the company that I do all my labels through is a company called Pirate Ship. And the reason I use Pirate Ship, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, is because it's the only one out there that's free. There's other companies like Stamps and Shippo and FitShipper that do essentially the same thing, but if you're using one of those, you're paying money to use it. You're either paying a monthly or you're paying a per label premium. If you look at the link that I've got over here, it's bit.ly/cheap ship. That's going to be the only option that's going to be on the internet that's not going to cost you a single penny to be able to use it. Okay, so that's what I'm using right now. But as I said, we're making USPS labels, which is fantastic. Now, the big difference with cubic shipping is it actually focuses on the size of the package and the destination of the package, opposed to the weight and then the destination of the package. So it's a little bit of a different way of working with things. So have you ever had a situation where you've had a package that was really, really small, but it cost you an absolute fortune to ship because of the weight behind the package? Well, that's the type of scenario that I've dealt with more than once on eBay, and it's really, really frustrating. And some of you are thinking too, you're like, Jay, how much money can I really save using this? Well, in all honesty, I save about $200 a month myself using cubic shipping. And what's really, really great about it too is it's not just the money that I'm saving on the back end when I'm actually selling my items, but it's the amount of new items I'm able to purchase on the front end that I was no longer able to purchase before. Have you ever had, let's say, a piece of glassware that you knew was about a $25 piece and you avoided buying it because you knew the worst case shipping scenario, you were looking at maybe $12 of shipping costs, there was just no way around it? Well, with cubic shipping, you're going to be able to reduce that ship cost down to about $6 or $7, and then in turn, be able to start picking up those $25 really dense, really heavy items again. So not am I only making money on the back end through saving shipping, I'm also making money on the front end because I'm able to expand and be more diverse in the types of items that I'm able to purchase. With the cubic shipping, like I said, it's focused more on the size, the actual dimensions of the item, and then the distance that it's going from where you live. Okay, so your relative position here within America is going to have an impact on your actual shipping cost. On top of that, any packages that you're working with can be up to 20 pounds or 19.99 pounds and up to 18 inches on any maximum dimension, whether it be width, length, or height. It's going to be a maximum of 18 inches. Take a moment here, look at some of these comments. Judy says, I shipped a small Pampered Chef baking stone. Those baking stones are heavy, and save $5 shipping it through eBay. Yeah, that's the type of situations we're talking about. We're talking about heavy stone items. We're talking about scrap metal, coins, things like candles. Like, you know, the Yankee candles, the big ones, coffee mugs, old coin collections. I mean, there's a whole host of things. Have you ever, like situations like dense beads, for instance, sands, arts and crafts items in particular, stuff that gets really kind of all over the place, but you still want to secure it in an actual box. So that's what this is all about. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, Jay, it can't be that great. It really is that great. We're going to be looking at some more slides here in just a second, but trust me when I say this, it is pretty freaking fantastic. So up next, it also works with boxes and soft pack material. When I say soft pack, I'm referring to poly bags and poly bubble mailers. That's an important distinction that when I see other people talking about this topic, they never remember to tell people about the poly bags. And on top of that, I want you to know I have a whole stack of visual aids over here to my side, and we're actually going to be going through and looking at actual visual demonstrations of what the sizes are that we're going to be talking about, just to give you a general idea of what you can be expecting. So on this next screen here, what we have is I know it looks like a ton of information. That's why I said bring a pen and paper. Up here on this side, and I'm doing my best to point, but everything is mirrored on my side. Up here is our main cubic chart. It's a lot of stuff to look at, I know. But if you look up across the top, you're going to see it says cubic feet in the corner, and then it works its way down. So when it says cubic 0.01, it's referring to 1/10 of a cubic foot, all the way down to cubic 0.5, which is going to be 1/2 of a cubic foot. I know what you're thinking, Jay, what's a cubic foot? I will totally get to that here before we get too far along. Pam says it's great for glass. 100% agree with you on that. And then across the top of that chart, left to right, you're going to see it's going to be showing the different zones, and the zones refer to the number of miles away from where you're at is going to be the rates that you're going to be looking at. So now I've gone ahead and color coded this chart. Now these color codings represent my average shipping scenarios, and I'm in California, which is very, very important to know. If you're living anywhere in the center band of America, congratulations, you just hit the lottery. Your shipping situation is going to be the best out of anyone here. You're not going to be seeing any of the rates higher than zone 5. So you see that right there where it goes from $6.98 down to $10.17 over in the zone 5 category. That means through using cubic shipping, if your item is under a half a cubic foot and weighs less than 20 pounds, you will never spend more than $10.17 to ship an item anywhere in America. And I know that sounds absurd, but trust me, it's pretty amazing what cubic shipping can do for you. And now I know what you're thinking too, Jay, why is it free? Well, the good people over at Pirate Ship, which is what that link is for down below, have found a way to be able to streamline their margins to be able to offer this service for free simply based on the amount of volume that they're doing now. And I mean, we are talking about tons of packages that are coming out there, and they're able to pass this savings along to you. Now, before I even get further in, I want to make sure that you guys understand that when you're using Pirate Ship, it's not just for cubic shipping. You can do first class labels, you can do priority labels, you can do parcel select, you can do media mail, you can do all those things. And on top of that, you can actually get the cheapest international rates out of any provider, period. They have an exclusive deal with USPS. They have their simple, I think it's called one rate export, which allows you to ship internationally for cheaper than even eBay. And as far as your priority rates are concerned, if you're not a top-rated seller on eBay and you're not getting your discount right now, if you switch over and you start using Pirate Ship for your labels, you're actually going to get what they call Consumer Pricing Plus, which is the top-rated discount on eBay. So if you just started eBay a week ago and you're like, why is everyone else getting cheaper rates than me? It's because they've got their top rated discount. Now, if you're using Pirate Ship, you get that top rated discount for free. Every single item you pack up and ship out, we're talking discounts on your flat rates, discounts on all your priority as well. Daryl comments in, he says, replaces stamps.com. 100% replaces stamps.com. So if you're currently spending money over at stamps.com, this will 100% take its place, and it costs absolutely nothing. Chris MBA asked about what about global shipping. So they have a one-rate chart that's available on their website if you follow the link. And what it is they have a one rate that allows you to ship almost flat rate-ish all the way up to 4.5 pounds, and they have rates for Canada, which is your standard pricing for Canada, and then they have rates for the rest of the world. So you only have two charts that you have to look at to find your pricing. And now that's definitely something that we're going to tear into on another show as far as the international selling stuff. We've talked about it on a different episode, a different show that I've done before, but I can guarantee you, if you want a competitive advantage on the international market, that is something that you definitely want to be a part of, okay? Let me look at these comments. 58% of my orders I ship cubic and 40% first class. That's fantastic. And Michael asked, can you print labels on a Dymo? You absolutely can use a Dymo. You can use a 4XL. You can use a Dymo 450, 400, 300, 400 turbo. You can use all your standard Dymos. And I have an example of a label over here to my side, and we're totally going to get into that as well. But I want to look at these key advantages real quick, and then we're going to get back to that chart. Number one, it's guaranteed cheapest rates. Okay, I have a $100 bounty out because I've had people argue with me on this before. If you can print a label cheaper anywhere else on either eBay, okay, or stamps, let me know. I'll give you $100 because it's simply not going to happen. It's a guaranteed cheapest price, consumer pricing plus on your priority and flat rate, and cubic shipping, 100% guaranteed to be the cheapest. Do we have to change global shipping, or can we stay with it and use pirate ship? Now, here's the thing when it comes to global shipping, okay? There's a thing called the API through pirate ship that pirate ship has the agreement to be able to fetch your orders from eBay and bring them straight across, which is fantastic, which means that you go to pirate ship after you've gotten everything integrated, you click on import my orders, it brings them all straight across to you. From there, you print out all your labels, and then as soon as you print a label, it automatically kicks the shipping tracking information straight back across. You don't have to do anything extra. And this is what I tell people. It's business as usual. And on top of that, what I really like about it, and this is just on a personal note, is I can print labels a heck of a lot quicker. I don't know if you guys know that Pitney Bowes loading screen when you're waiting on eBay and it's just waiting, and you've already sealed up your package and you're just waiting for that label to come. Well, the load time is probably about 1/3 on pirate ship. And if you're like me, I just want to hammer out my labels as quickly as possible. It's about 20 seconds a label if you're not using the bulk tool. But if you are using the bulk tool, or if you are somebody who is a volume seller and you're shipping 100 or 200 or 300 of the same item each and every day, there's a batch tool for it. Click it, boom, you can run 300 labels of the exact same weight through all of your orders at one time. So this product was actually originally created for massive identical item shippers. So originally the creator of this company created a company called Loot Crate, and they were sending out maybe 400,000 or 500,000 boxes that were identical in size and weight every single month. So they just needed a one-rate solution to be able to get all of those fired out. But this same tool, as valuable as it is for companies like that, which is still the primary purpose of this tool, we have found a way through people like myself educating other eBay sellers like you to be able to bring that to the eBay platform and be able to save people money there as well. So as far as global ship is concerned, the API on eBay does not allow for the fetching of global ship orders as of right now. It just has to do with the, it's either a settings or a security clearance thing with eBay. It has nothing to do with pirate ship or any limitations with them or their software. But like I said, with the pirate ship one rate options, you're going to be able to ship to your customers cheaper than what's going to be offered to them through eBay's global ship program. So the big thing about that is, let's say you have a Note 8 phone and your competitor has a Note 8 phone. The global ship price is incredibly expensive. People do not realize just how expensive that option is. Every time I see a global ship order, I'm a little bit surprised, and I always wonder about the person because it is a fortune sometimes to get those orders in. Now, if you have your Note 8 comparative to your competitor and you can offer a better shipping rate, yours is going to sell internationally first. And that is a big, big deal. And I will totally be happy to tear into those international rates on one of my primary shows, which we'll talk about here a little bit later. Carly asked, I went to pirate ship to get an estimate just out of curiosity, put in the dimensions, weight, etc., sending from Michigan to CA. I have large items I want to ship, and the prices were the same using eBay labels. So the reason you're going to see an identical price is because the item that you're trying to ship is just simply too large. So we have some qualifications for what makes an item actually cubic. So as I said, no dimension can be longer than 18 inches. This is actually an 18-inch ruler. Don't know where I got it, but I'm happy I have it. So no one side can be longer than 18 inches. And then it also must be under half a cubic foot. So that 0.5 cubic foot. So if you're punching in your information and it goes 0.51 cubic feet, it no longer qualifies for cubic. Just so you can get an idea of what 1/10 of a cubic foot looks like. A lot of you guys have this. This is not a small priority. Just so you know, this is a priority 1096L box, and this qualifies as a 1 on the cubic. So if you look up at the right here, see how it says cubic 0.1? This is what a 1 looks like. And here's another example, and I made this one myself. It's almost the size of a wine bottle. So anything about this size is going to qualify for that top row of prices. So now, like I said, we have L12, zone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I kind of want to describe a little bit about the frequency at which these things are going to be coming up. Now, when you have a cubic 1 that's going to zone 5 or under, you're looking at 698 or less. Now, I have a little asterisk here, and it says consider using a flat rate or small padded, and I'm referring to an envelope on that one, okay? So if it falls under that situation, consider using one of those two if possible. Now, if you bump out of that, you're going to be looking at a cubic rate. Now, zone 6, 7, and 8, we're talking about going coast to coast. So New York to California, California to Florida. We're talking about those situations. And zone 9 is never going to happen. Okay, I've been doing cubic shipping for like 9 months now. Never once. We're talking like Peru, Canary Islands. We're just talking way off the mainland is what you're looking at for zone 9. We're talking United States territories and not the actual continental United States. So, and that green swath that you see here, my image is reversed. So that green swath that you see coming through the center there, okay, that's the ones that I'm using the most often. These are my most common shipping scenarios. So on the cheap end, I'm looking at about $7.13, and on the expensive end, I'm looking at about $10.76. So like I said, this is an example of what a 1 looks like, okay? I think I might even have another one over here. You're gonna hear these things hit the ground, guys. I hope you don't mind. This is another example of a 1. I got the dimensions here, 8 by 6 by 3.5. So this falls underneath of 1/10 of a cubic foot. Okay, so this is a pretty generous space. And just so we're clear, because we're never going to use zone 9, 99.9% of the time we're not going to use it. We're going to use the zone 8 scenario as our worst case scenario. So with a box like this, we're looking at the worst case price being $7.53 anywhere in America. Okay? Anywhere in America, this can go for $7.53. Now, if you don't think that's cheaper than eBay, I can't help you. I'll tell you right now, you can't get a priority label for $7.53. Okay, and here's the real kicker. This can be 19.5 pounds, and it'll still ship for $7.53 anywhere in America. And this is what I try and tell people. It's like once I kind of give you a little bit of that example, it's going to make a heck of a lot more sense. This is how big a 2 gets. And I also want to clarify too, you guys can still use your existing USPS boxes. This is what, a 776? Outside dimensions. And oh yeah, before I forget, when you're punching in your dimensions, you always round down to the nearest 1/4 inch. That's great about it. You get to round it down. Okay, so we got 7 1/4 by 6.5. Okay, and this is one that's offered by USPS, so you can use their boxes. On top of that, you can take their boxes and you can cut them down. Okay, you can cut them straight down, and then you can make them smaller if you need to. So if you have a box that comes in at 0.21, and oh yeah, I can get this down to that 0.1 bracket. I can knock this one down even further, cut it down a little bit, and then do your tape job. If you need a video on how to do cut downs, let me know. I made a very nice inventory tutorial video, and I'd be happy to share it with you guys. So that's, what was that, 7 1/4, 6 and change. This is another example. I made this from scratch as well. This is a 10 by 8.5 by 4. Look at the size on this. This is probably, I don't even know what I could describe this as size-wise. You could fit 2 large bottles of shampoo in here. So think of like your Tresemme bottles. You could fit a shampoo and conditioner inside of this. Again, okay, for cubic 2, we're looking at worst case scenario of $8.46. If you're shipping it within your own state, you're probably looking at anywhere from $6.80 to $7.13. We are talking filthy, filthy cheap. Carly asked, what about USPS regional boxes A and B? Is pirate ship still less expensive? Here's the thing with that, Carly. Because these rates are so aggressive, you will never, ever use a regional A or B box. Now, there was a time before the postal rates went up, about 6 months ago, when regional A and B boxes still had value. And the reason is that regional A and B boxes, they call it pinning. They basically had it pinned at the 2 pound mark, about where the prices would start. So if you had something under 2 pounds, it really wouldn't help you all that much comparative to priority or comparative to cubic. Well, after the last postal adjustment, they repinned it to about 3.25 pounds. Now, because of the minimum base pricing on a regional A or B, if you look at that same box and same dimensions and you punch them into cubic, I 100% guarantee it's going to be cheaper. Since I switched over, I have not found one situation where a regional A or regional B box is cheaper. It just simply does not exist anymore. The only time I'm using a regional A or B, in all honesty, is I'm doing a box and a bag, and we're going to get to what that is later on. And I know it sounds ridiculous. Regional A's, the standard and the long box, were two of my absolute favorite boxes to use because I saved a ton of money with them. But once I switched over to this, no BS, I've never used another one again. Judy says, use exact measurements, don't round up. Yeah, you can round down if you definitely want to. And then we got another comment in here from Chris asking, what is the best way to measure? You're just going to take your tape measure. You use a hard one all the time. You're never going to have to use a soft tape measure. It's always going to be a rigid one, even with your poly bags, okay? Great question to ask, though. Let me see what other comments we have here. Give me 1 second to catch up and scroll through here. Hello to Gladys. Hello to Daryl. Just want to make sure we see everyone here. I ship a lot of 0.2 cubic from California to Zone 8, and it's a $2 saving from a regional 8 box. Thank you for that, David. 100% concur with that. Do we sign up for cubic, soft pack, and pirate ship both? How do we set it up? All you're going to do is you're going to visit the link, bit.ly/cheap ship. That's all you have to punch in. No www, no HTTP. Just type in bit.ly/cheap ship. And here's what's great, guys. You sign up for free. And I remember the day that I signed up. I punched in my email. I got everything set up. And I thought to myself, I'm like, where's my email confirmation for signing up? And then I realized, because I'm not giving them any money for sign up, they didn't have to send me a confirmation thing. It just got it set up and I was good to go. And it was probably about 3 minutes after I started that I was printing out my first label. All I had to do is say, yes, I'm an eBay seller. Here's my here's the account that I want to use. It integrated it across. And then I said, I want to use PayPal to buy my labels. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. This is going to sound a little bit crazy to you, but when I buy my labels, and you do not have to do this, okay? You can buy them like one at a time, no problem. I buy my labels $500 at a time, and that sounds absurd, but what happens is I let them draw out $500. As I buy labels, it takes it away from that balance. The reason I do that is I get fed up when I go to my PayPal account and I try and see my transactions, and I've got 30 or 40 labels that were made over the weekend and I can't find anything I'm looking for. But when I go to PayPal now, I see one shipping cost maybe every month for the total value of my shipping, and then that's how I go about it. And you can set your minimums lower. You can set it for 10, 20, 50, 100, 250 or 500, and they'll just draft that amount out in one go. But you can choose to do that or you can choose not to. I don't want you to think, yes, I have to spend X amount of dollars to get started. There's no sign up fee, there's no monthly fee, and there's no per label fee. All the other sites out there, they charge you for that. This is the only one that does it for free. And that's part of why I'm such a huge fan of this site. It just makes sense. And they finally cracked the code on how to make this work for people. Pam says the priority boxes all have the cubic sizes on the box, which is absolutely correct. Pam, you're going to get bonus points for that one. So every single priority mail box that we use for cubic, if you look right there, you're going to be able to see there is the cubic information right on there. So this is 0.07. What is that? Outer dimensions? Yeah, it's just all right there on the box. It's kind of tricky to explain until you see it in person. Let me show you a few more box examples here real quick, because I got a couple more. This is and here's the other thing too, guys. You want to consider the types of boxes. If you are someone buying boxes, you want to look into what the maximum dimensions are that you can get on a single box without exceeding a specific tier. And they have a calculator on there for doing that. This is a 7x7x7. This still qualifies as a 2. This is slightly larger than the one that USPS offers. David says, you should be paying for your labels using reward credit cards. All my shipping I get paid for in rewards. I actually do that. I do a credit payment via my PayPal account, and I do get an extra, 1% back via PayPal. But yes, if you do have that option set up, you can get even more money back on your cubic labels. Let's take a look at what I almost knocked my beverage over. Let's take a look at what some 3s look like. I think I only have one here. This is a 10 by 8 by 6. We're starting to get pretty big now, okay? I understand the initial boxes looked rather tiny, okay? But to tell me, for a 3, you can fit 19.5 pounds inside of this box, ship it anywhere in America for $10.76. And if you're shipping it within your own state, you're looking at about $7.19 to $7.36. This is a big box, guys. 10 by 8 by 6. This is a hefty box up to 19.5 pounds. You're not going to get that type of flat rate through USPS, I'll tell you that right now. And that's what I tell people too. You have to look at cubic shipping as if I am offering you 8 or 9 brand new flat rate boxes that you can use anywhere in America. Because that's essentially what's going on here, is you're getting a ton of flat rate options in front of you. This is one of my favorites. This one I hold near and dear to my heart. This is a USPS shoebox. And you're probably thinking, Jay, what's so special about this one? Well, this is actually a cubic 4 on its own. But I can't tell you how often I come in here and I cut these corners down, because we know this already. A lot of the boxes at USPS are starting to get really long and really flat. Think of your regional A1 box. It's really long and really flat. So when I can get a box that's a little bit boxy and I can do more things with it, I really will. So I'll cut these corners down, okay? And then I'll retape it off, and I'll be able to get a ton of purpose out of this individual box. The important thing to remember is we're looking at the measurement after the box is taped up, not before. So the final measurement on the exterior is what we're going to be working with. Gloria says, I have 2 eBay accounts. Can I pull in orders from both? What about Etsy? Etsy orders can be entered in manually, which is really great. So if you want to go on there and you want to make one label, you can just click on create a label. You can make an individual label for an Etsy order, just punch in the information and then boom, send it on out. Now you are going to have to manually transfer that tracking information to that Etsy order. So it's no different if you were if you were like me, the old schooler, and using paypal.com/MOS to create single label orders through there. So it's the same exact process. As far as having multiple accounts, you can certainly tether up your primary, but you may need to make 2 individual accounts to be able to sling a second account over. But if you'd like, follow up with me after the show, send me a message, and I'll get one of the experts on, and we'll, one of the owners over at Pirate Ship, and we'll see if we can get a direct answer for you on that question, because that's the first time I've actually heard that one. Pam says this is a 3. Holy cow. Okay, this was made 6 months ago. I may have gotten this one wrong. She's saying this one's a cubic 3, which is great, so you can save yourself even more money. Let's see what other boxes we got here. Okay, now we're getting into the 4, guys. Look how hefty this 4 is. Now, I could have made a boxier 4, but you'll see why I waited. We're going to get to a 5 over here in a second. This is 18 by 8 by 4.5. So this is a pretty big box. I want you to think of like a bouquet of roses. Like if you ever gotten roses boxed up and sent to you, this is about the size that you're looking at. Or you maybe want to think about one of those old school dolls that came in the real big, long, not too wide boxes. Same exact concept. There goes my tower of boxes. And now we got 2 different examples of a 5. This is a boxier 5. This is actually a 10 by 12 by 7. So think about this, guys. Look how much larger this is than a flat rate large. Okay, and I want you guys to think about the standards that we're comparing against here. We're comparing against a small flat rate, a medium flat rate, and a large flat rate, and then we're also comparing against regional boxes. Every single one of these smokes those other options. Okay, and I know and here's the other thing too. I get asked this a lot. Jay, if this is something that USPS offers, why aren't they telling everyone about it? Like, what's the reason we haven't heard about it before? This option is available to people who are doing volume. So if you own your own company and you've done 10,000 packages a month or more, USPS will have contacted you and said, hey, would you be interested in using cubic shipping? Okay, but most of us aren't doing 10,000 packages a month. But because we're all together within this one site, we all get the discount because it's running essentially through the same account. So look at this. This is how big a 5 gets. And you can fit 19.5, 20 pounds inside this bad boy. $10.17 for most of America. You're looking at worst case scenario, usually zone 7, zone 8, $15 or $18. But the odds of you going into a cubic 5, most of us don't even reach that level because we're very much so very much so conditioned to using smaller boxes and buying smaller items. And it hasn't been until recently that I've started expanding my range just a little bit. Let me catch up on some of these comments here. Can we use all those USPS boxes? Yes. Any USPS branded box that is not flat rate and is not regional can be used for cubic. So you're looking at variable rate boxes. There's a variable medium, there's the 1096L, there's the shoebox. There's a whole host of different eligible boxes that you can use. As far as your regional boxes and as far as your flat rate boxes, that would be a box in a bag style option, but that is at your own discretion, but I will explain what that means later. Carly asks, I guess what makes me nervous is we have to pull down menu on eBay. Do we have to go outside of that comfort zone? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand. Will pirate ship be an option on that menu? I'm just so used to pull down. If you sell something, where do you go find the label? So as far as when you actually sell something, let me see if I can pull it up for you here. Give me 1 second real quick, guys, and I'll see if I can actually show you live right now. New window. Give me 1 second, guys. Because I would love to be able to show you. I just didn't prep for showing you. Let me pull this up, see if we can get this to fetch real quick. There we go. 1 second real quick. I just got to get logged into my account for security purposes. I am not going to be having that on screen while I log in real quick. One second. Okay, so let me show you guys how this works real quick. So the formatting is going to be a little bit different, but if you look over here, so we're on my import from eBay page right now. So if we go over here and you click on the actual pirate ship, and then you go over here and you click on import, what it does is actually just going to straight up fetch my orders from eBay. So I only have one order pending right now, and that's the only one that I need to make a label for. So all you have to do is click on get rates. Okay, and then you're going to punch in your package information. Now this one right here, I got a bead on what it is. It's about 10 small little items that I'm going to be able to put all together. So we're just going to go ahead and call this one 6 by 6 by 7. The weight on this one is going to be roughly, actually let's go ahead and be aggressive. Let's say 4 pounds. And now here's where we have some extra stuff. So now if your package requires signature confirmation, you need a return label, you want to insure it. Priority packages are insured by default. You get that full $150 worth of insurance. If it's a media mail package, you can click on this right here. If you need customs form or if you want to save the package for repeated usage, then you click on get rates. That's all you have to do. It is so simple. As you can see here, the standard pricing would have been $9.90 if we were to use variable rate priority, but because of where we're at now, it's $7.13. All I have to do from there is click on the buy label option. Now, when I click on the buy label, what that's going to do, it's actually just going to import that information directly across to eBay. So that shipping, that tracking number, and the fact that the label was created, it's automatically done. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. So as far as pull down, I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but if there's something that I didn't cover there, I'd be happy to elaborate further if you have an additional follow-up question. David says, yes, you go to Pirate Ship, log in, click on import. Yep. Everything that I just said. Debbie says you would have to go into Pirate. Yep. Okay. Looks like we've got a doppelganger here. Yeah, so it's very straightforward. That was the entire process of making a label. There's really not a whole lot to it. And then I've got one last ridiculous, chunky nonsense 5 here. Okay. Like I said, maximum dimensions up to 18 inches. We got an 18 by 18 by 2.5. So this is actually the size of an extra large pizza. I understand it's gonna, it's a little bit of an oddball size, but you could do this if you really wanted, just to give you an idea of how extreme some of the sizes can get. David, thank you. Yes, it is $100 insurance. My apologies on that one. And Carly says, gotcha, thank you. Yeah, Carly, there's no reason to worry. I understand when people hear, oh, there's another site that I've got to give permission to and do stuff like that with. I get it. I get that it's a little weird, but you have to keep in mind when we're talking about USPS shipping, we're talking about a regulated commodity that's owned by the government. You don't just run around and sell millions of dollars worth of a government commodity without their permission, and you can't attach yourself to eBay without their permission. It's honest to God, it's no different than using stamps, except for you're saving a ton more money because you're not paying a monthly fee to be able to do it. So I've been teaching people about this for a little over 6 months now, and collectively, we've probably seen a savings of $10,000, $15,000 amongst the people that have signed up from the classes that I've produced with them. So it's quite a bit of money that you can stick right back in your pocket. Okay, so let me look at this. So yeah, you're getting that top-rated pricing included. We call it CPP, or Consumer Plus Pricing. Up next, I want to show some of the soft pack options. Soft pack is any type of packaging material that's either a poly bag or a poly bag with bubble on the inside, but it is not gusseted, okay? If it has a gusset on the bottom that allows it to expand a width dimension, then you're not going to be able to use that. But if you're using a standard poly bag, okay, something like this is a very standard flat one, then you can use that. But like I said, if it has a gusset, this one doesn't, but if it has a gusset at the bottom that allows you to get like a width dimension, you guys know what I'm talking about when they look a little bit like that at the bottom, then you wouldn't be able to do that. But because this one's flat pack, this one's perfectly fine. So when it comes to these, you can go up to 21 inches in total length plus width. So that's what I like about the poly bags, is that you can actually measure them out. Now I measure them out right to where this edge starts, right to where this different color is. So we have this one right here. This is a 10 by 7.5. So this is 17.5 inches total, which means it's going to qualify as a 1. So whatever I can fit inside of here, it's going to ship for that rate. Okay, so it's very, very cheap. We're looking again at zone or cubic 0.1 all the way across the top again. So we're looking at $7.53 max on that one. Debbie says $100 to yours. Yeah, sorry about the confusion on the insurance. I believe it's $100. Pardon my naivety, but is this program for eBay only? No, any business can use this program. So if you're somebody who has an independent company and you want to be able to use it, you're more than welcome to. If you're selling on Posh or Mercari or any of those alternate sites, you can use it as well. But here's the thing. This one already has eBay integration built into it, but they currently don't have integration for other sites. It's one of those things where they're working to try and add in as much stuff as possible, but they want to make sure that each new change that they bring to the platform benefits as many people as possible. So there's other little hurdles along the way. And you have to keep in mind too, each new addition they make, they're not necessarily getting paid more for it. So they're like I said, they're working on it as quick as they can, but it's a very, very small team that allows this to be possible. I guess USPS has large padded envelopes. Yes, they have padded flat rate envelopes that cost, I believe, $6.90 or so to ship via pirate ship as well. Up next, we got a size 2. I think this is right on the edge as well. This is 11.75 by 15. Now this is offered, I believe, through eBay. This is one of their eBay mailers that I enjoy using, and this qualifies as a size 2. So anything I can fit inside of this, what I already consider to be a pretty massive bag, this is going to ship for no more than $8.46 anywhere in America. And this is one of those situations where I'm telling you guys, you might have a scenario where you would want to put a box inside of a bag because for whatever reason, the dimensions of that box make it tip into the next tier, but when you put it inside of a bag, it actually costs you less money. And now when it comes to measuring these bags, you're going to be measuring unlike the boxes where you're measuring the final product measurement, with the poly bags, you're looking at the pre-filled dimensions, okay? So you can't shove something in here and then fold it down and then say, I'm going to use these 2 dimensions right here. Okay, you have to use the pre-filled dimensions. And as I said, it's going to be right up to the fold line where you're going to be folding it. So that's what a 2 looks like. Let's take a look at a 3. And guys, I want you to know I have an FAQ after this that we're going to go over, and I'll be taking more questions as well. This is a 3. This is 17.5 by 12. This is a total of, is this a 3? What does that come out to? 29.5? Yeah, this is definitely a 3. It's just a little bit larger. Wouldn't you measure once the shipping package is packed with the product? What shows on USPS priority size can be up to a ½ inch and larger once packed with product shipping. So when you're using cubic, when it comes to the poly bags, you're going to be using the pre-filled dimensions on the poly bags. That's just the way that cubic shipping works. When it comes to the boxed items, you're going to be looking at the final packed dimensions on the box for your example, as far as cost is concerned on that one. And Pam says, I do it a lot, box in a bag. Yep, it happens. We got this next one here. This is a number 4. This is a total of 32.5, which seems like, yep, it's right in the middle of number 4. This is 18 by 14.5. It's a pretty big bag. We're starting to get into some of the hefty sizes here, guys. Just so you can get an idea of scale, this is pretty large, okay? And then the last one I have here for you, I actually had to mix the numbers. I grabbed the wrong bag. Okay, we're going to call this an 18 by 18 when in reality it's a little bit closer to 19 by 17. And for that, I apologize. But you get the idea. This is, you know those 13-gallon trash bags? That's about how big this is. I mean, just look at me for scale here, okay? This is an adult arm right here, just for scale. This is a very, very large bag. Okay, so anything you can fit inside of this bag, anything that fits in here, including a box, ships anywhere in America for less than $17. And if you live in the middle of America, you're looking at about $10, worst case scenario, to ship that anywhere in America. So I'm starting to see, okay, or I'd like to think that I'm starting to see you guys understanding just why I'm saving so much darn money using cubic shipping. Because I even had somebody message me right before the show that says, Jay, we can't tell people that you're saving $200 a month on cubic shipping because I'm giving another one of these classes on Friday. And I told him, I'm like, I am saving $200 a month. And if you're not saving $200 a month, either, maybe you're not moving enough volume. I sell maybe 5 or 6 items a day, sometimes more. But you're most likely not doing it correctly. Just the basic example, I usually save a couple of bucks per package, and then sometimes it's going to be much, much more than that. I've had scenarios where I've saved over $25 on a single package that was going from coast to coast, and it was about 19 pounds, so those scenarios are going to happen. So I'm going to take a look at these questions, and we're going to roll over to some Q&A real quick. With my my pre-built Q's and A's, and then we'll switch over to your guys'. Just like padded flat rate bags, I ship 8x5x4 boxes in a padded flat rate bags every day at the $6.90 price. Yeah, you got, and the padded flat rates are awesome options, but there are going to be lots of scenarios where this is going to be cheaper. Like I said, if you're outside of that red area, which, let's be honest, we ship a lot of stuff that's going to be like that, then you're going to want to look into that option. Chris says, awesome box in a bag. Yeah, we use it all the time. It's so great. Carly says, can you choose to use eBay or pirate ship when shipping, whichever works best? Well, here's the thing. This is actually a fantastic question you asked because I get hit with this all the time. People say, I'm just going to use pirate ship for when I have a cubic item. This is the worst way of going about it because you're going to find yourself bouncing between platforms and it's only going to confuse you. Every single option that's available on eBay is available on pirate ship, and I guarantee you it's cheaper, especially if you're using like a cashback rewards card or something like that. So first class, priority, cubic, everything is all over there. So you might as well just stay on pirate because all the options are there already. So bouncing back and forth, it's just going to cause you trouble. There will never, ever be a scenario, ever. And if you find one, I'll give you $100, a crisp $100 bill, where eBay is going to be cheaper than pirate ship. You may see the exact same price if you're a top-rated seller, okay? But if you're not a top-rated seller, every priority is going to be cheaper, flat, padded, variable. They're all going to be cheaper. And if you're even the same, you're going to have access to cubic on pirate where you don't have access to it on eBay. So when it comes to bouncing back and forth, just get on the pirate ship bandwagon. Trust me, once you see how quickly you can make your labels and how flawlessly the integration works, you're going to be hooked for life. Like I said, I've reduced my time probably in about half for making the switch over. Let me see what else we got here. Try and catch up on some of these comments. Pam says she has those poly bags and love them. Poly bags are my second best friend. I love poly bags. I remember the day I learned about them still. And here's the thing, guys. I know I look young. I just turned 33. I've been selling on eBay since I was 21 or 22. I'm a long-time seller on eBay. I love the platform, and I've been doing this training forever. So before the show ends, too, I definitely want you guys to stick around. I got some additional information in case you enjoy me and you enjoy my style and you'd like to learn a little bit more about some of the other things I do. Let's say Pam says, I know the savings are that easy, 100% guarantee. Gloria says, I often get packages delivered in a gray soft pack that have holes and where you need to wrap them in shipping before putting them into a soft pack. Now, here's the thing with the poly bags, okay? Poly bags come in different sizes, okay? And not only sizes, but they come in different thicknesses, okay? These ones right here, I believe, are 3 mil. These ones are very, 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 very strong. As you can see, I just stretched the heck out of that, and I couldn't even rip it, okay? And I'm a strong guy. I'm a rock climber, okay? I go climbing 5 days a week, and I could not separate that bag, and I got some insane grip strength. So the quality of your bag is what's going to matter. Now I know where you're getting your stuff from. I might even have one here in my waste can. This is what you're ordering. I already know it. Okay. This is an e-packet from China. If you guys didn't see my video on e-packets, make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Now, these e-packets are exceptionally weak compared to, and I didn't rip on the seam, I just ripped down the middle, okay? These e-packets are 0.1 millimeter thick, okay? They have no strength and durability to them whatsoever. So if you're getting poly bags, make sure you get quality poly bags to protect your items. If you have something that's worth something, don't even bag it, guys. Just shove it in a box first or something. If you have to, double up on your polys, but get a quality poly bag that doesn't rip. It's worth, what is it, an extra 3 cents a bag? So if you're having issues with bags, look into your quality, okay? Debbie says, last week I shipped a package that cost me $25. Box size was 16 by 14 by 12. Which zone would that fall into? That actually sounds like it's going to be outside of half a cubic foot. You can always use the calculator on the website too to be able to figure that out, but it definitely sounds like it's outside of 0.5. When it comes to stuff like that too, you know, if it's a big box, there's just nothing we can do. Chris says, do we just order poly bags from USPS online? They actually don't offer poly bags through USPS from what I've seen. They may third party them, but I recommend using valuemailers.com. You can find them on eBay as well, but the best recommendation I can give you is contact me after the show. I will let you know the dimensions that I use personally based on the type of box and a bag scenarios that I'm using. But you're also going to want to make sure that the sizes that you get are indicative of the type of inventory that you're working with. So if you work with a lot of larger stuff, you're not going to have any benefit to have really small poly bags and vice versa. And if you're looking for a quick way to find the sizes you need, go to valuemailers.com, click on the poly bags tab, and it'll bring up all of their sizes on the side. Once you found the size that you actually like, and you say, this size is going to work for me, you take that size information, punch it into eBay, and then you can find your cheapest option. But trust me when I say this, quality is king. Do not buy junk poly bags. As you saw the difference there, a 1 millimeter thin one immediately tore apart. 3 millimeters thick, couldn't get it to rip. Next up, in the beginning, I was switching back and forth. No more. I just stay on pirate ship. I can control my cost and keep track of all my orders. So much easier. Yeah, which is really great. I didn't mention this earlier, but you have an entire back end. You can see when you made your label, you can review that label, you can follow the tracking on that label, you can see how many of your packages are going to different zones and the total amount that you've spent on shipping as well. So if you're concerned about bookkeeping and stuff to that effect, all I have to do is go back and say, okay, I've made 4 of these $500 payments this year. I've got a $200 shipping cost, and I'm running a $150 surplus coming into next year. It's that easy to do your bookkeeping for shipping when you switch over. It's fantastic. Debbie says, you're still young at 33. See, everyone gives me trouble about that, okay? I feel young, okay? But I know I'm starting to creep, but nobody seems to believe me. I think I have that Benjamin Button thing going on. Carl says, with pirate ship being integrated with eBay, it is safe to assume that tracking will be uploaded to eBay once you print your label. 100% automatically transfers straight over with no additional work. Carly Price says, 24 by 24 poly bag, awesome for large coats. I use value mailers. Carly, unfortunately, 24 by 24 will not qualify. Okay, so remember it. Up to 18 inches. So 18 by 18 is going to be the largest poly bag you're going to be able to use, and that'll get you at that 0.5 right there at the bottom, okay? David says, you can get the Tyvek bags from USPS. Would they qualify? 100% they qualify. The only thing that I don't care for regarding the Tyvek bags, which if you guys don't know, it's a very papery type of material that they use. The thing I don't like about the Tyvek is that they don't have much give on the actual width. And that's kind of where we get away with murder when it comes to poly bags, is just how wide we can make them. But the Tyvek is 100% a legitimate option, and they're exceptionally durable. They're like, here's the thing. If I had spent a little more time on that bag, sure, I could have ripped it. I am not on my best day ripping through a Tyvek bag. Those things are borderline indestructible. And then Gladys says those were discontinued. I actually have like 100 of those left. If anyone wants them, let me know. I'll be happy to ship them out to you. No cost, just cover the shipping and they're all yours. And then David, bringing it back whole way around, went ahead and posted up a link of the Tyvek mailers. Man, I wish I had that little face thing that I could put up on the screen right now. Carly says, okay, so do I go back to eBay for labels for 24 by 24, although it's outside the cubic rate? No, you do not. You go ahead and do it on the Pirate Ship site. Reason is you're going to get the consumer pricing plus option on Pirate Ship. So it's guaranteed cheapest rate on the internet. So there's no reason to bounce back. It's either the same price or cheaper on Pirate Ship than it would be on eBay. Great question though. So I believe we did a very thorough breakdown. And now I forgot to mention those black packages, less than 1% of my packages fall within that range. It's very, very rare to see that. I've got one more slide for you guys today. These are my FAQs that I expected from you guys, and some of them we covered already and some of them we didn't. Number one, how much does this cost? It costs absolutely nothing. The only thing it might cost you is a little bit of your time, which I've so thankful that you guys have given me today. We've been on the air for 50 minutes so far, and you guys have been a wonderful, wonderful audience. I've loved some of the questions that have been coming in. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, there's going to be some information down below if you'd like to support videos like this in the future. Do I have to copy over tracking numbers? We just went over that, which was great. Will the labels be the same? This is the number one, believe it or not, number one gripe that I get from people about using Pirate Ship is their concern regarding the labels, okay? I want to let you know right now, I use a Dymo 450, which is pretty much your standard label printer that most of us are using. And people say my labels just don't look right. That's just kind of how it is. This is how my labels print out of my Dymo 450. I'm using house labels. You can use any brand, but I'm using 99019 labels, okay? And they print out funky like this. But I slap them on the box, and I've sent out over 2,000 of these labels so far. Not one issue whatsoever. As long as the barcode's scannable, we are good to go. So don't be afraid if your labels come out looking like this. The option, if you got your pen and paper handy, is going to be postage part 3. Okay, that's the option that I'm using for this one. And I'm using the fit to page option on the checkbox. If you need help getting that set up, please send me a message after the show. I will be happy to help. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment down below. I will reach out to you and see to it that you get that sorted out. How do I sign up? Does it cost anything ever? You will never be charged 1 cent for using Pirate Ship. You're just going to pay for the labels that you use. Can I still make non-cubic labels as well? Yes, you can. What about my current discount? Like I said, you're going to get CPP pricing, consumer pricing plus, which means you're doing 10,000 packages a month, even if you're doing one over on Pirate Ship. And then what about my existing boxes, regional, etc., flat rates, cut downs, and we covered those. So guys, we got a couple of minutes left here. If you guys have any questions, now is the perfect time to ask them. I'm going to play a little bit of chill Hawaiian music right now. We got 6 minutes worth of music left on the clock. If you guys have any questions. Now, while you're thinking of these wonderful questions, again, I want to thank the admins of the eBay sellers helping each other for inviting me or allowing me to be here today to share this with you. And I cannot stress this enough. Please use the link that I've provided, okay? I am not getting paid through Pirate Ship, but I'm working towards trying to be a spokesperson with eBay. I'm an eBay small business ambassador currently, and I help with eBay shipping label integration on the platform. So I'm trying to build up a fantastic base. So if you use my link, that helps so much. If you share this video, it helps so much. If you have anyone else who watches this video, tell them to use this link specifically and not just go to the main page. Now, I have one other little bit of information while you guys are thinking about those lovely questions. I do a show on my page. It's called the Sunday Reseller Roundup. It can be found over at facebook.com/groups/Pickers Lounge. Every Sunday for 2 hours, we break down the news. We talk about updates that are happening to eBay, Amazon, the platform, and more. And we have an absolutely great time. It's completely free to be a part of it. And then we got some paid perks as well if you're looking for some more one-on-one training. So back to the lovely little chart real quick, and thank you for that 2-second plug. I'm going to check for some questions here. Pam says, my labels are the same as Jay's. I have never had a problem. Fantastico. Where will this video be posted at to watch it again later? Wonderful question. It's going to be available at youtube.com/c/pickups. Now that is actually in the description of this video that you're watching right now, but it's also going to be right there in the comments. Did I get it to work? Did it work? There it is right there. So you can go in and click on that. That's going to take you to my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch the video at your leisure. On top of that, this video, if you come back to this page after the show is ended, which is going to end here in a few minutes, you just refresh the page. It'll start from the very beginning. You'll be able to like the video, share it, send it. Well, actually, you won't be able to share it because of the group settings. So you're going to have to use that YouTube link if you're going to want to be able to spread it around other people. Debbie says you're welcome, and I really do appreciate it, Debbie. If you guys know any other groups, because here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be completely honest. Some of these groups are so rude about me coming on. I tell them, I'm like, guys, I can save your members tons of money. And they say, no, we don't want anyone from any other groups coming and promoting themselves and promoting what they're doing. And I tell them, I'm like, guys, I can save your members hundreds of dollars. And they say, we don't care. But your admins here were some of the friendliest and most welcoming admins that I have met anywhere amongst the eBay reselling community. And being part of a friendly group means so much more than people realize. It's all about that free exchange of information, and it means the world. Let me look at these questions here. For packages that were delivered that the buyer states they didn't receive, how will eBay view that if using pirate ship versus eBay shipping, or does that matter as long as we can prove that the item was delivered? That's a wonderful question, and that was from originally from Melissa Laster. So as far as that's concerned, everything's going to function the exact same. Now, there's only one thing that's different, and I'm just going to be completely transparent. It's in the event that you have a return come in. So if somebody opens up a return request and you are unable to generate a label because you had your shipping options incorrect when you first made the listing. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have this cell phone and you just did sell one like this, and the default shipping setting was maybe 5 pounds and like a massive box. But when you went to go print your label, you sent it first class and you shipped it cheaply. Well, when you go back through to try and process a return and you have to send a return label, it's going to fetch that old information. So the way to get around that is you actually have to go as if you're making another shipping label through eBay. So you know how it has your sender address and your receiver address? When you're making a label, you actually switch the two. I know this sounds crazy. You switch the two so that you become the receiver and they become the sender because they're sending it back. You purchase that label on eBay and then you upload that label to the return. And that is the only way you can do it. The only other alternative is to purchase a return label for your labels when you buy them on Pirate Ship. I think they're $0.25 a pop if they to make them if they get used. I don't believe that there's any cost if they don't, but don't quote me on that. I don't do that. I just go through and I make them as I need them. Happens maybe once every 3 months. But if your origin shipping information is correct when you first make the item listing, then you're not going to have any problems at all. Let me look at this. Let's see what else we got up here. Carl says, Debbie, please post all the links to Jay's link in the group. Yes, please. I got a whole bunch of them here. I'll show you the links one more time, guys. This is all of them right over here. This is the link to get your cheaper shipping right here. This is the link if you want to check out my YouTube channel. This is my Facebook group. Guys, we're a small group. We're a tight-knit family over there. I love it so much. We're maybe about 2,000 members, if that, maybe 1,200 members, but we all get along great. We have a great time. This is Patreon right here. If you want to see this show and you want to help support what we're doing, it's like 50 cents a day and you get some fantastic perks. You get 24/7 group help if you need it. And then we also take donations to help keep us on the air for what we're doing because God knows training doesn't pay that great. But it's something that I've always enjoyed doing. So I'm happy to be a part of what's going on. But that show is every Sunday at 5 p.m. PDT. So wherever you live, okay, it's 5 p.m. my time right now. This is the time that show airs on Sunday on my group, and you don't even have to be a member to see it. You can just jump on in, but if you want to comment and you want to interact with all the other lovely people that come in there, then you have to send that request, and we'll be happy to approve anyone from this group. Let's check to see if there's any more comments here before I cut you guys loose. We got a couple of minutes left on the clock here. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Michael, for being here. Thank you, Julie, for being here as well. Thank you, Melissa. Right back at you. Debbie says, when you are ready to do an advanced for international shipping, let me know, and we will set one up. Yeah, if you're ready for a little bit of that advanced shipping, we'll definitely get it going. But just make sure that you guys all get set up using that appropriate link. Like I said, it helps so much. Going to give you guys 1.5 more minutes just to see if there's any more questions that are ready to come on through. Let me see if I got any other cool stuff over here that I can show you guys before I go. I don't know. But what we are going to do is as the show comes to an end, we're going to roll the credits that we roll for our patrons on our page because we love them. Oh man, they've made this entire thing possible, believe it or not. The equipment that I'm on right now, the software that I use to make these graphics, this microphone, this computer, the usage of the music, everything that you saw is made possible by the patrons from my group. Judy says, yes, do an international. I will be happy to do that international for when you guys are ready. I'm going to tell you, it's going to give you an absolutely massive advantage for shipping on eBay, especially with all the changes that are happening with the transition over to Adyen, with the transition to mandatory eBay catalog usage for electronics starting on September 18th. These are things that if you guys aren't in the know on, I strongly suggest you get plugged in. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening by the end of this year on eBay, and every little advantage that you can give yourself over international sellers is going to help out a ton. Do we need to do anything to get international to work? Actually, yes, you do. You want to send a message in. You're going to be prompted when you sign up. It's going to have a little thing. It'll say from Jameson. Please message here if you'd like to communicate with us. When you get your account up and going, to tell them, hey, I would like access to the one-rate shipping option, and they'll go ahead and unlock it on your account. It's not unlocked by default. They're not giving it out to everyone. You must request access to it. Fantastic question. I can't believe that slipped my mind. So, if there's no other questions, I want to thank you guys so much. This has been a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. And and I can't stress this enough, if you know a group that needs this training and you're friends with an admin, please send them my direction. I'll be happy to help them. Fear of International from Carly. And Carly, thanks for tuning in. I know we just talked a moment before the show started, but thank you so much for taking the time to be down here. And thank you so much to everyone. If you have any questions, please message me. I am Jay Kraft on Facebook, and you have all my info. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And I look forward to the next time I get to be live on this absolutely fantastic group. Have a great night, guys.